Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Brian. Welcome back. We're in the magical time right now, everybody. For those of you watching, it is 3 p.m. Pacific time on the Friday before a long holiday. And the jaded person in me, from many, many years of being in InfoSec and dealing with the last, 20 years or so, this is a magical time where companies want to drop stuff like we've been breached or bad things happen to us. Solar winds comes to mind. VMware. One second. Somebody decided it was time to use their ladder. So, but yeah, we're in that magical time where let's bury the bad news on a Friday afternoon on a long holiday because it won't affect our stock price because the markets have already closed, and it'll be Tuesday before anybody can actually do anything to our stock price, or Sunday night if you're not in the United States. So yeah, looking and keeping an eye out on my various feeds, looking for um, that one thing that's going to cause issues. So if I've got a bit of a lisp, um, I bit the hell out of my tongue yesterday to the point where it was bleeding almost profusely. I turned to look at my wife and I was chewing gum and my tongue didn't turn with my head. So I got a big spot on my tongue. Um, but anyway, so we're gonna. I'm not going anywhere because it was supposed to have rained today and been ugly, and unfortunately, it's 60 degrees and cloudy. So we planned to go camping, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I have a feeling the weather is going to be really nice and it's going to suck. So, but it is what it is. So I get to spend some time with you fine people. Um, let me make sure everybody can see me, that I'm not talking to myself. All right, go Twitch it up. Okay, so I am live. All right, good. Nothing worse than talking to yourself in the internets and nobody hearing you. In the internets, no one can hear you scream or whatever. All right. There we go. Got my audio up here. Yes. Mobile dashboard. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I saw. So I saw they're gonna do a Disney Plus episode series of Willow. Um, Everything I read about it said that it's going to be pretty much Willow and a bunch of new people. So the only reason it's Willow and they're calling it Willow is because Warwick Davis is going to be added to the cast, or is going to be on the cast. So no Mad Mardigan, as far as I know. No Laura Dannon, whatever. So it's going to be a completely different cast except for Willow. Maybe he'll be a full fledged wizard by then. So yeah. So we got a couple things coming up. I've been talking to Jay Beal, good friend of the shows. Had him on a few times, more than once, in the pre Twitch era of our podcast, about coming on, and he's done a lot of work with Kubernetes. Kubernetes, boy, that's really hard to say. You got a lump on your tongue. Jay Beal in Guardians. All right, let me kill my live preview on my screen here, just as long as everything's working. That's all good. Jay Beal and Guardians. Yeah, so this is Mr. Beal. He works for SANS Institute. He's the CTO of Guardians, excellent organization. If you need pen testing, he doesn't pay us to say that. He did it one time back in the day. He did some sponsorship stuff with us, but he's pretty good person. Um, he does a Kubernetes. He does like a deliberately Kubernetes. Oh my god, I suck at that. Okay. Kubernetes resources. Yeah. What was it called? It was called Bust a Cube. That's what it was. Yeah. So Bust a Cube is an intentionally vulnerable Kubernetes cluster, intending to help people self-train on attacking and defending Kubernetes clusters. So, it's been a minute since we've had him on. I think he's probably going to be doing some training at Black Hat and DEF CON as he is wont to do. In the past years, he's given training at JBL Black Hat training on SE Linux and App Armor. Yeah, so he gives some training on how to effectively use SE Linux and App Armor, Aikido on the command line, Linux hardening and containment. So, yeah, this has been a few years ago, but yeah, he normally gives that kind of training. It's really good. It goes over very well. So if you get a chance to sign up for some training for Hacker Summer Camp, go do so. Let me see what we got. What we got in my stream here. I don't give a shit about Amber Heard and whatever. I don't have any idea what's going on there. Okay. Okay, let's see. Uh-huh. Yeah. Web dev course. Oh, okay. All right. So far, so good. I don't see anything else going on. But if you'd like to check it out, there's some learning resources here. You can go and join that. Hit the download link to the left or check out the Easter egg video below. Bust the cube. Okay. Nice. I can't hear the audio, but if you heard it, hopefully it sounds funny. Okay. So let me see. How do you, let's read the download part. Okay. Download the cluster VMware version. Okay. Oh, speaking of VMware, Broadcom bought them for $61 billion. Shit, I don't know what that's going to mean because somebody also had mentioned that um, VMware also owned Carbon Black. So now VMware is owned by a company that is known for, poor support for their customers and causing some issues. I mean, Broadcom has been in the wireless industry for years. They're not very friendly to open source. They obviously are, their software is backed up, in the firmware into drivers. So you're going to run into some items there. Where is it? Let's see, Carbon. There we go. Broadcom snaps up VMware in a $61 billion deal, which includes Carbon Black. So it will be interesting to see what happens when things go by and if Carbon Black will get sold off. I'm not exactly sure why they bought VMware other than maybe IP. So yeah, massive merger will put Symantec and Carbon Black under one roof. So that's unfortunate, I think, for some folks, especially VMware. The deal would bring Symantec Security Division and VMware's Carbon Black under one roof. It acquired Symantec for $10.7 billion in 2019, and VMware bought Carbon Black for $2.1 billion. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would not be surprised. Well, I mean, Broadcom bought Symantec's security division, so they may not spin Carbon Black off into its own deal. So that could be other things. Zoom bug, make sure you are updated to the latest version of Zoom, 5.10.6. 5.10.6, I think, is the latest version that I have. Apparently, you can just cause issue. Oh, there's 6 bugs now. Okay. But it affects Zoom chat, so I guess you can own people by just sending a regular chat over Zoom. Yep. Only capability needed to carry this off successfully is the ability to send messages to the victim over Zoom chat. Ian Freitrick noted in a post. Okay. I guess if you're using Zoom, it could be that you're using Zoom for more than just video conferencing stuff. So, yeah. XMPP. Yeah. So Zoom chat uses XMPP. That's an old, it's old. I mean, people have been using XMPP chat clients for years, right? Adium, I believe, used it. Google swears that their chat is XMPP based. Adium was uses multiple IM messaging networks, including an XMPP. In the past, it supported AOL Instant Messenger, ICQ, Windows Live Messenger, and Yahoo Messenger. So, um, hasn't been used in about 7 years. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense because there is no more Windows Live Messenger. ICQ is still around, but it's mostly used by Russian hackers and things. And AOL Instant Messenger's gone the way of the dodo. So I guess you could still use it for Google Talk if you wanted to. Oh man, I've used Pigeon. I've used Trillion. I actually bought Trillion back in the day, and I still remember my ICQ number. So 324-75016. Haven't been on it in a decade or two, but still remember that 8-digit number. So, actually, when I first started working at CrowdStrike, we were small enough that they were using Adium for chat, and then eventually we moved over to something else. But it was interesting because they were using encrypted chat comms, so it was using PGP encrypted chat. So I was like, wow, okay, I have to have a PGP key and using Adium and it was completely perfect forward secrecy chat, which I had never used anything like that before. All right. I'll keep an eye out on the infosec feed here to see if there's anything ugly coming up. I mean, anything that comes up for vulnerable. Okay, okay. So far, so good. Nothing yet. Nothing crushingly bad yet, but we'll see. Oh yeah, this is some of the solo RPG stuff I was looking at for that. Yeah, that's good stuff. So long story short, we're talking to Jay about coming on and doing some shows. He'd actually volunteered to come and hang out with us and do some stuff. And I said, hey, because we're on Twitch now, you could actually do demos. And he was like, oh yeah, great. I was like, all right, cool. So we'll have him on at some point in the near future. I'm going to get my keyboard out here. By the way, Memorial Day is to remember the dead, not Veterans Day, which is to remember some of the living. If you see somebody who's a veteran, ideally don't thank them for their service because usually we remember Memorial Day for the folks that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for whatever America we've created today. So, yeah. Okay, Academy. Oops. There we go. Academy. Hackthebox.com. Okay, log in. Okay. Oh, by the way, let's say you're wanting to download some of our videos on Twitch for whatever reason. I don't have a problem with that because we put them on YouTube anyway. If you want to use YouTube download, you can, download your stuff with Twitch. The thing is, though, what you want to do is you want to export the cookies when you view the site, because if you get an error like can't download the M3U8 playlist metadata or something, what it's looking for is it's looking for the cookies for the website, but it can't read the cookie repos or the cookie storage in your browser. YouTube download can't. So you would need to do things like either export all your cookies or just export the current site cookies. And when you do so, you come up with a number of you can export cookies.txt and then call it as a value inside the YouTube download uh, CLI. So just a heads up. I was trying to do that because I was trying to use YouTube download to pull down the videos for the podcast we posted this week, and also for John DiMaggio, our author that we had on Tuesday. Um, so yeah, I realized I needed to export the cookies so that I could, view them and download it. Then everything worked out well. So let me see. All right, so far we've been working on SQL Map Essentials. Oh, by the way, if you hello to our new followers who followed the channel. We have Sparrows, and we have a Kashgid Avir 66. A Kashgid Avir 66. Thank you both for following the channel. Hope you find value out of this. And if you want to join our Discord, think. Oh, that's interesting. Our bot appears to be not working. That's weird. All right, so HTTPS www discord. Oh no, discord.gg. I would have streamed yesterday, but I got in here and looked at some of my overlays, and everything had been turned super big and really ugly and didn't work. And by the time I figured it all out, I was a little unhappy and just decided to say screw it and fix it all later. So, oh yeah, I've set some follower goals and subscriber goals. I'm hoping what we can do is get some additional followers for the month up to 150, and subscriber goals. I'm looking to see if we can get 50 subscribers. So that's something I'm just trying to keep track of for everybody's edification there. So all right, so we are SQL Map Essentials. So if you remember, we've gone through some of the overview of what SQL Map is. Let's go back and do this. So it is a way by which it's a pen testing tool written in Python, and it automates the process of detecting and exploiting certain SQL injection flaws. Been around for a while, 2006. That makes it almost 20 years old. That's pretty good. It's still maintained. So, if you, again, one of those things where if you find value in a piece of software, go check it out on GitHub, see if somebody's, offering up sponsorships or some kind of Patreon for that, so you can support them. The other thing is SQL Map is a tool that cannot be used if you're getting your OSCP. Not only do they not allow it for the OSCP, I would imagine that the exercises that they've created are such that you don't need SQL Map to do them, which is another way of thinking about it. They don't allow it because the exercises don't require a lot of brute forcing or major banging on a VM. So, comes with a powerful detection engine, lots of features, broad range of options. Obviously, broad range of options and switches for fine tuning. If you just turn it on and set it on blast, or set it on fire hose or something, you're just spraying a system. You do all kinds of ugly things with it. You could bring down a web server. You could crash databases. Double check here for a second. Okay. And so the one thing you definitely want to do is to tune your connections. You want to not just spray and pray, if you will. One, it's noisy as shit. If your target has any kind of decent kind of tracking or monitoring on their databases, you're going to find yourself. And I hope I'm coming in all right. I can see it on the Discord, but hey Tomcat, how you doing? Do I sound okay, Tomcat? Please let me know if I'm sounding okay. I have Discord running as well because in the event somebody wants to come on and hang out and do voice chat with us. I'm trying something different, while we're doing this. So if people are on our Discord and are watching, you can join the broadcast channel and do some voice chat with me. So hope the audio is sounding all right. But yeah, so any kind of decent kind of monitoring on a database or an application, and it blindly. Okay, good. Thanks, Tomcat. And thank you for chatting with me. I appreciate that. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do what I can to answer the SQL Map questions, or if you have any other questions you'd like to talk about, I'm all ears on that. Sometimes I just like to fill dead space. So, but yeah. So they'll be able to see you pretty quickly if you're just spraying and praying and hoping that it will find a vulnerability. I'd like I'd hang, but I don't know much about this. I like to learn more about security. You know what? That's what we're all about here. We're all noobs here, Tomcat. So if you have any questions, or you'd like to talk about something else, we can do that. I do the hack the box stuff. This is the bug bounty program here. So, for folks that are trying to, a lot of times people who don't come from an infosec background, right? They have to find ways to gather their skills. So one of my friends, his name's Ponysec. 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 When I met him, he was painting houses and for like minimum wage. And he reached out and he was like, "Hey, how do I get into infosec?" I That's not him, somebody else. Anyway, um, but yeah, it was, how do I get in this? And he started doing bug bounties, and he's actually gainfully employed now as a pen tester for a telecom company. So, he learned how to do write ups of bugs. He learned how to set up, you know, his home lab, and find vulnerabilities. And the bug bounty path that they've got here gives you just an introduction to web applications, how to do these things at various exercises. So yeah, we're all noobs here. As a matter of fact, I'm actually relearning a lot of this stuff, Tomcat, because I'm I'm just a filthy PM now. So I'm coming back in here learning how to use some of these tools, some of them for the first time. I mean, when I was doing what I would consider testing, not in a pen test, but security assessment, or doing some light pen testing, I didn't use SQL Map because there was no need for it. Same thing for like Metasploit. I never used Metasploit in that respect too. So and there's a ton of stuff you can learn in this section on these. Oh, file inclusion has been updated. Okay. So as you can see, a lot of the stuff in the bug bounty area they consider to be fundamental, easy, or medium. There are other sections in the offensive the tools here for let me see, modules. Here we go. All modules.
Hey, how you doing? I don't know if you.
Yeah, so
Sorry
you
if I
can go
scare
and do
you.
ones on Metasploit frameworks, vulnerability assessment, attacking common services, intro to Academy if you want to go learn how to use, hack the box. If you want an easy 10 boxes or 10 cubes, you can get that. So I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, and they're pretty good about it. And it's all free. It's just there's certain restrictions. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, Tomcat, just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Hey,
Let's see.
can you hear me okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Let
Hello?
me go back. Oh, did I already do that one? I guess I did. Dashboard. Actually, I haven't been in here in a couple days, so that's why I figured. Oh, cool. All right. Very cool, Tomcat. Oh, there you are. Can you hear me, Tomcat? Let me know if you can. Otherwise, I'll figure out why the why it's not working. But
Hello? Can you hear me all right? Check.
okay.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right. SQL Map Essentials. All right. Running SQL Map on an HTTP request. SQL Map has numerous options and switches that can be used to set up the request before its usage. Yep. Okay. So we're going to potentially grab a request off the network as the page is loading, and we're going to copy it into curl. Let me double check. Where's my audio? Okay. Headphones. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay. At Tomcat. There it is.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Okay. I have a white kitty too.
Uh,
So we're going to copy
Can
his
you hear?
curl
uh,
from the F12 or the inspect. So we go to inspect. You'll go into network. If you hit reload, you'll see the academy.hackthebox load. The exercise we'll do at the bottom of the page is probably going to require us to grab so you can grab and edit in the curl. Oh, cool. We have 96 people in our Slack or our Discord. That's pretty awesome. All right. So one of the best, easiest way to set up SQL map is against the specific target web request with parameters inside by utilizing copy as curl feature within the network monitor panel inside Chrome, Edge, or Firefox developer tools. By pasting the clipboard content in the command line and changing the original command curl to SQL map, we'll be able to use SQL map with the identical curl command. Oh, that's nice. Huh. It's almost like they planned it that way, huh? 1 second. Guess not. Oh, audio settings. Oh, you have it so you can hear me on stream, but you can't hear me. Oh, great. Okay. Well, I had hoped it was not that way. One second here. That's kind of funny. You can hear yourself, but you can't hear me. You don't have to go. You know, this is weird. I got my earbuds in my ear, so good. Hmm. Oh, you know what? You know what I bet? Yep. That's what it is. Monitor output. Okay. Yeah, so I think I fixed it here. This was set to monitor off. Monitor.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Testing.
Oh, no. I saw the
One,
saw the
two,
thing
three.
move. Yeah, there it goes again. Okay. Properties. Capture audio sessions from a specific executable. Ha, no, yeah, still nothing. That's one of the fun things about doing all this. I can't exactly, troubleshoot this at the same time. So, let me see what we got going on here. Yeah, sorry about that. We'll figure it out. I mean, I know other people do it and they do it quite well. So, but yeah. Okay. Oh, Matt DA9. Yeah, everyone can hear him. I just can't hear him, and I don't know why that is. So, let me go check my audio settings over here. Might as well do it. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get a ton of people right now. So output device, input device. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know I'd want. Yeah. Let me see. Focus. Yeah, no, it's all right. All right. Hmm. I probably have to set up like voice meter or something like that to be able to hear everybody talking. So it's just one of those things. I actually haven't done a lot of the Discord audio voice chat. I just know that a lot of streamers that I follow have a voice chat system like that. So problem is without people actually here to help troubleshoot it, you really can't. So there it is. But well, we'll work it out. All right. So continuing on, let me just go ahead and kill the audio thing because just make it easier for everybody. Have you looked in Discord voice and video settings? Yeah, I had everything set up, I think, but yeah, I just don't know why it didn't work out so well. So yeah, I had everything locked in, my input device, my output device, my headphones. I mean, you can obviously see me talking into the microphone, so it can see it there. I just don't know why the output. The funny thing is, if I use my integrated camera, and the one thing I haven't figured out why is why my laptop camera shows me upside down. I don't know why. Um, works with my EOS, works with my DSLR, but yeah, for some reason my camera on my laptop is upside down. So, and I can't fix it. Apparently, it's a known issue. So, um, but yeah, I have everything. Oh boy, it's making my shit go real slow, isn't it? All right. Oh man, yeah. I was good. It does not like Discord on the main screen there. Oof. All right. It's funny with everything getting set up. It's still very much a learning experience to this day, where I'm trying to learn how to do things right. I mean, other folks, I honestly don't know how some of these folks do this stuff. Thank you, Matt, DA9, for following me. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, if I used any other camera, it would work. And if I use my integrated camera with the Windows app, you know, I mean, say this is my integrated camera, works just fine. I'm upright and happy. But for Discord, flips it upside down, and I'm not the only one. It's a known issue. I don't know why it's only my laptop's integrated camera. So it's stupid. I know. Anyway, so we take that. Yeah, tell me about it, Tomcat. It is definitely something weird going on there. So, hey, CH716, how are you? Thanks for coming and hanging out. So we're providing data for testing. We're providing data for the testing SQL map. We copied the request as curl, but we changed from curl to SQL map because SQL map and curl use the same. Uh, Actually, SQL map probably uses curl as the backend for making the requests themselves. So you could potentially see a lot of curl requests. You might want to, if there was a way to detect whether or not SQL map was being used, other than maybe your log files are full of a bunch of crap requests, like just it trying various things. That's another way you might just look through your web logs to see somebody running an automated scanner on your system. Many's the time I saw on our Apache boxes people trying to run IIS against it for whatever reason because they weren't tuning their scanner, so it would just try any web server and every web server vulnerability against it, regardless if it was Nginx or Apache or IIS or what have you. So or Tomcat, and it's like, well, we have Apache, we're not running Tomcat, so I'd see Tomcat stuff in our web application logs or our so I'm assuming you would see something similar with that with SQL map. So full HTTP requests. If we need to specify a complex request with lots of different headers and values and an elongated post body, we can use the -r flag. Hmm. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you can use the -r flag to kind of use a flat text file, which will have all your headers in it. Obviously, you would want to use that. The R flag is also the raw flag. Uh, that way, you're not, you fat finger something in wrong one time. Actually, this is another good way of standardizing your requests. If you're going to run the same request across maybe multiple databases, you want to make sure you're not, fat fingering something in wrong or invariably you put the wrong backslash somewhere and it doesn't encode it correctly, you could come run into different issues. Um, you know, you can actually even get rid of things like upgrade insecure requests, the do not track tag, maybe even the if none matches and the if modified sense stuff. A lot of these things you can get rid of because they're extraneous. Um, so yeah, you can actually just copy this and put it into a regular text file, which is kind of cool. We can either manually copy the request from within burp and write it to a file, or we can right click the request within burp and copy to file. Okay. Another way of capturing the full HTTP request would be using through the browsers mentioned in earlier section, choosing the copy request headers, then pasting the request into a file. So it would be, let's go inspect network, reload. All right, so for shits and giggles, we'll pull that up. Go look at the headers. So yeah, you could raw and then let's see, what did it say? Copy to file. Browser in the mention, choose the oh yeah, okay. copy, copy request headers. So there you go. And then you can just open up a text file or something and just drop them in there. Okay. To run SQL map with the request file, use the -r as follows. Yeah. So you got R and then request.txt. Yep. Similarly to the case with the dash dash data option within saved request file, we can specify the parameter we want to inject in with an asterisk, such as ID equals asterisk. Okay, so you could do some light fuzzing or like a burp intruder where you're setting certain not sigmas but the little tilde bits that you can use to denote what wants to be fuzzed or not. Okay, so you'd use it's a dash dash data. Okay, so fun. All right, custom SQL map requests. If we wanted to craft complicated requests manually, there are numerous switches and options to fine tune SQL map. For example, there's a requirement specify the session cookie, PHP sesh ID. There you go. Option dash dash cookie would be used as follows. Okay. Yep. I'm assuming you could also you could also put that PHP session ID in your header. I would imagine. I don't see why not. It would just be a cookie, cookie value inside your headers. If you wanted to use that, the same effect can be done with the usage of header. Okay, so yeah, you could actually add it to the header file up here somewhere as a custom field or what have you in your text file. So that way you're not having to copy paste all this in. So that actually probably would save you a lot of time and effort if you could just write out your typical HTTP responses that way. You can apply the same to options like host, refer, and user agent. Yeah, because all of these are going to be specific. So you see your host, user agent, and referrer. Okay, so referrer is not in here, but if you had a site that had a 302, there might be a referrer link where you might send yourself to a different site, or if it's so let me see. Default, yeah, you want to change. I mean, if somebody's really spraying and praying, they may not have even taken the time to change the user agent string. That would be a good way. Sorry, that would be a good way to kill a connection if you had a WAF or a content based firewall that's looking at headers as it's coming through. If the user agent is SQL map, um, or some variation thereof, you might automatically drop those connections. That way, drop them silently or make it so that somebody's not able to scan inside your system, or a WAF in this case. Alternatively, the dash dash mobile switch can be used to imitate a smartphone. Oh, very cool. Okay, which would make sense because there are websites when they use some web designers are they change the style sheet based on the user agent string. So you might actually uncover parts of the website by using um, imitating a mobile device, or um, even even an IoT device. If you can get the header string for that, and you're trying to imitate an IoT device, for instance, accessing the network, if it's doing something like asking for information or provisioning information, there might be a user agent string that would be compared against, and it's like, okay, it matches this version. I'm going to give it this information. So let me see. While SQL map by default targets only HTTP parameters, it is possible to test the headers of the SQL injection vulnerability. The easiest way is to specify the custom injection mark. Sorry, after the header's value. I forget to breathe. For those of you listening, I forget to breathe sometimes. My brain is suffering from lack of oxygen. So. Same principle applies to any other part of the request. Right. Also, if we wanted to specify an alternative HTTP method other than get or post or put, so if you're doing like what is that called? CRUD CRUD operations. Get, post, put, and delete would be the ones you would want for that. You can utilize the method option as followed below. So it can get pretty complicated here. So having a good knowledge of curl can help you with SQL map as well. So any questions on that? I don't know how much I can answer, but we can definitely Google some stuff up if anybody has any questions about SQL map command line functions. I was actually a little worried about starting the SQL map one myself because I don't use it all that often. So we can provide data being passed. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Yeah, -R for request file, post login pages. Right. Yeah, crawling. Yeah. So yeah, there's no shortage of SQL map um, wikis out there. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, it is a tool, but it's not a tool that I mean, it's either sledgehammer or you actually have to take the time to uh, fine tune it, right? Otherwise, it's just a sledgehammer that you're using to smash or try to smash things. So, all right. SQL mapping essentials back to all right. Custom HTTP commands. Oh, this is a JSON formatted. Hmm. This is yeah. So HTTP 1.0, the host command, and there's some data that comes after it in uh, key value pairs with various attributes. This is interesting. Hmm. Oh, I see. However, in the case of a long or complex post body, SQL Map supports JSON formatted and XML formatted HTTP requests. That's nice. Okay. Support for these formats is implemented in a relaxed manner. Thus, there are no strict constraints on how the parameter values are stored inside in case the post body is relatively simple and short. The option dash dash data will suffice. Hmm. What uses a JSON formatted? Turn on my laptop cooling system here. JSON formatted HTTP requests. Oh, of course. That would be, yes, of course, the shitty Atlassian would be ones that use XML, and JSON representations for their posted source. Okay. Also, I would imagine if you're using, if you're testing APIs, they're going to be formatted a specific way as well. The REST APIs, or yeah. So yeah, you can see here where you're. Sorry, make this a little bigger for those of us that can't see very well. So yeah, here's what an XML formatted HTML post would look like. Here's one for JSON. And then you've got your content types and exception types and your curl command line examples. So curl-i-u, so that's username and password. The data file, of course, is what you would use instead of the -r with another value here called my password. I'm not sure what that would be for. Why you would need a second one called my password. Excuse me. Correct password gives the right credentials. Okay, 8095. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so this calls in HTTP the attribute my username for user management. So this might be a way where if there were not proper controls in place, you might actually change a username or a password that way. Yeah, REST resources for REST APIs and those. Yeah. Setting attributes, first name, last name, display name, email, password value. So those are examples of XML and JSON encoded ones that are like legit world kind of stuff. Like Atlassian apparently uses XML and HTML or JSON and XML formatted queries. So, all right. So what do we got down here? Okay, what's the contents of the table flag 2? What's the contents of the table flag 2? All right, well, let's pull it up here. Oh, it looks like it's running a little faster than it was previously. Could be that everybody's on vacation in the US, so the UK based Hack the Box is having no problems because it's also midnight there on a Friday in the UK. So nobody's using the environment right now. So, all right, let's look at the hint only because use options, batch, and dump to automatically dump the data. Okay. All right. Well, we will see, will we not? Okay, so I made it full screen. Delete busted cube and keep an eye out here. Implement sustainability. Okay, so far so good. All right. As I was telling people earlier, we're kind of in the magic hours here where, it's a long weekend. And if people are trying to bury breach stories or uh, bad vulnerabilities, they're going to do it today. Um, the vulnerabilities are the bad guys are trying to ruin our weekends by posting up, some bad stuff. But yeah, there's always a breach or something that gets advertised on the holidays. All right, so what is the contents of the table flag 2? So considering we just spent a lot of time talking about curl and SQL map and those items, I'm guessing that we're not going to be using a website for more than just to grab the HTML request. So what I'm going to do here is start up um, Firefox. I'm going to move that over here, so that way I can type it in the door in the window. All right, so we need 157, 240, 45, 46, 136, 31, 743. Yep. Okay, so we have some stuff in the site here. Okay, so we've case number 1, case number 2. All right, so what was the question? What is the contents of the table flag 2 in case number 2? Okay, so we go to case number 2. Okay. Case 2, post parameter, detect and exploit a SQL vulnerability in post parameter ID. So, all right, so we've done this in the past. We want to so we're going to look at inspect, and we're going to get rid of some ugly stuff here. Let me pull this out and expand this. Expand this out a little bit. Thank you. There we go. All right. So we're going to go to network. We're going to hit reload. All right. So we have case2.php. So that's what we're on right now. I'm going to hit submit. So we get a 1 because the idea is what we're wanting is to, okay, so we have, okay, Maynard M. Rice. Okay. What is it that we're looking at? What's the contents of the table in flag 2? And the hint was use batch and dump to dump all the data. All right, so there is a database. We're going to get name, ID, birthday, occupation, address, phone, CC would be credit card number, email, and the password, which I'm guessing this password, if we use CyberChef, is going to be something super simple. All right, so we need MD5. Input. Okay. There we go. Oh, okay. So it's not. I think they were just using garbage answers in there anyway. So the idea is we're going to use batch and dump, and so what we need to do now is grab this and copy as CURL. Okay. All right. Close this. I'm going to. Oh, you know what I forgot? I'm going to start my music. There we go. And of course, I can't hear it. This is why we can have nice things. All right, chill hop. Hmm. That's a little loud, isn't it? There we go. All right. All right, so we're all right. So we grab CURL, copy CURL, and minimize the browser window here, and create a document, text file, plain text. All right, so we're gonna paste. Okay, so that's the oh, right. Let me go ahead and grab copy headers, request headers. There we go. Okay, there we go. Control A, Control V. There we go. All right, so that's what we wanted originally. So, all right, and for this we had case2.php. I think we needed to scroll down here and make sure that we're not missing something. Because there should have been an ID in here, right? So, let me pull this up here so I can see more things. DNT, okay. Request headers, response headers. Request is ID equals 1. Okay, so we should be able to ID colon star, star, because as we saw earlier, yes, batch dump, yes. All right, so you could go in and say the -R, so we'll do -R whatever, and okay, so data flag, yes, UID test, right? So use the star for a fuzzing point, an insertion point for fuzzing the areas there. So yes, data option, you can specify parameter we want to inject with an asterisk, such as /ID. Yeah, there you go. All right. All right, let me go back over to here. Okay, let's double check. So let me back it up one. Okay, so post parameter ID 2. Okay, so there's at least two. There's at least two records in the system there. All right, so click on that one. Yeah, so the form data says ID 2. Okay. And all right, so got that. I'll save this. Okay, close. All right, I'll just minimize that. You might need this again before it's over with. We'll call it quest. Rename. Request text. There we go. All right. Any questions on why I'm trying to set it up this way? Bytes. Okay. Move. Yes. Oh, sure. Now I can hear it. There we go. We'll just do it that way. All right. So we have the request. I need to get a bash terminal running. I really hate their command line here for this, but all right. So SQL map -r. Oh wait, let's make sure we're in the right directory. Okay, we need to go to desktop. Just get rid of that. I bet the audio would work now in Discord, just for shits and giggles. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. We will fix it at some point in the near future. All right. So we have SQL map dash. Oh, right. CD desktop. CD desktop. All right. What the hell happened to my instance here? Okay. What the? All right. Well, we'll just go right back over here and open this up again. That sucks because now I have to redo all that shit again. Oh no, it came back. All right, good. All right, so there's a bit of a hiccup there. So, what are we learning? So, Matt DA9, we are playing with some SQL map. So I'm doing one of the exercises. You can actually go and if you're in Hack the Box Academy, you can sit down with me and do some of that. Just understanding how to hurt systems with SQL map in this case. So what I'm doing is it wants to know what is in the table, the contents of the table in flag number 2. So when we go to SQL case number 2, there was a database specifically of files in the post parameter. We're going to use the post parameter ID, which currently I've iterated through numbers 1 and 2. And we are going to try to dump the database for all intents and purposes. As you can see, some of the, if were I a bad guy and were this a company in which I would, have access to the backend database, I would have the name, birthday, occupation, address, phone, credit card number, email, and the password of Julio Thomas. Um, and before that, there was another person as well. Um, these people are not real or legitimate, or they've obfuscated the data so that Julio Thomas was not born on this day, does not live here, is not an agricultural products order. But yeah, there's a number of things here. So, but in a real world scenario, you get access like this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to try to use something like SQL Map to dump the database. And some of the hints that they mentioned here was you're going to use batch and dump to dump all of the data. What is batch? SQL map dash dash batch. Okay, important resources, hacking tricks. I may not want to use that, but we'll see. Batch, non-interactive code. Usually SQL map will ask you questions. This accepts the default answers. Okay. Let's see. Control F, batch. Okay. Well, you know what? Let me see. Maybe there's another way of doing this that I had assumed was the way. So, yeah, no worries, Matt DA9. I appreciate the company as we sit here with Tomcat and CH716. Feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions, I will do my utmost to answer them. Please feel free to join our Slack if you haven't already. And thank you for following the channel here. So, all right. So SQL map dash dash batch, because the hint said to do batch and dump to automatically dump all data. I'm going to copy. I'm going to try copying the request, because the worst thing could happen is, as it stated, all you have to do is, as if it's so freaking easy. So we're gonna Control C, Control V. All right. So as you see here, you've got. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but there we go. All right. So ID2, of course, is the ID of Julio Thomas. So this is curl, and they said what you can do is, can I go up? Nope, I cannot. Okay. So I have to scroll. Oh, that was painful. All right. Back. Because SQL map, I think, and it's only supposition, but the fact that you can just take a curl request, remove curl, and put SQL map in makes me think that there's some bits on the inside where SQL map is just saying, okay, pull this command or what have you. And then it said batch and dump. Oh, not dump. Dump. There you go. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work, so we'll give it a shot, though. I would assume what it's going to want me to do is go all the way to the end. All right, so I think that's going to work. So it says data raw. All right, so let's go back up and see what it said about formatting the. Okay, so what we want is -u target data equals 1. Okay. All right, so those are the custom requests. Full post requests. All right, so as for testing post data, the flag data can be used. All right, so what we need is a dash dash data, UID equals 1 equals names test. The UID is prone, and we can narrow down the test to only this vulnerability. using -p-uid. Otherwise, we can mark it inside provided data with the uses of a special parameter. All right, so we need to take the request that we just put into SQL map and then put --data and then ID equals star. So okay, so data raw. Don't think the data raw is needed, so data let's see, move tab to a new window. There we go. I remember it's been a minute since we've done some hack the box stuff, but what I wanted to do was kind of split this screen like this and then get real close over here so that way I don't have to keep referring to it every time like that. Okay. Seriously? Come on, man. There we go. All right. Let's see if that looks all right on my screen here. All right, good. All right. Enable. All right. So, except I think I dorked up my process here. Yep. Okay. So --data. And let's see, post request, PUID. Okay, so data ID equals star, I think is what we want. Let me see, full HTTP request. Yeah, okay. -r flag, right. Okay, so ID --data ID equals star. Okay, so that's good. Let me double check and make sure there's nothing special here. Case 2. All right. Well, the worst thing could happen is it doesn't work, right? Which it didn't do. All right. So Control C. Clear. Okay. So we're missing something, right? Because if I hit enter, nothing happens. So am I missing a... This is one of those fun times where you got to figure out where you've screwed up. I'm wondering... Really don't want to... Yeah, I'm going to have to scroll back up through the... Oh, wait. Oh, that's... I put a single tick instead of a double tick. Oh, that did something. Oh, what the? SQL map. Missing a mandatory option. Use H for basic or HH for advanced help. Okay. Okay, well that was better than nothing, right? I'm gonna move the batch and the dump stuff to the bottom. And because this is all one line, technically, I can't do anything other than just keep scrolling back and forth. What I should have done was typed batch and dump before I went up here and made these changes. All right. Somebody's about to tell me that there's a shortcut you can do just to go to the end of a command line, but I don't know what that is yet. So y'all win 100 quatlus if, you know, should call them quatlus. Damn. All right. --batch --dump. Aha! Okay, so that did a lot more somethings. Okay. It's like it's using an ancient version of MySQL. I just wanted to dump the database, so I'm not exactly sure why it's not doing that. Boom, boom, bow. Well, we'll see what happens. They'll kick me off if I've done something naughty, but I haven't done anything they haven't already suggested. So, okay, all right. So it's still trying to do its own thing here. Parameter replace. All right. So, um, I wonder if it's it's doing more things. It's doing more things. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hey, that worked. It's cracking the passwords. Look at that. Oh, oh, okay. All right. Wow. Control E. Thank you, Matt DA9. Appreciate that. Thank you. It moves to the end. All right. Okay. So what did we learn here? There are 32 records. Let me maximize the screen here. Okay. So this actually tracks because I see Julio Thomas in there. And then there's 32 other records. Audrey Hill, Ryan Spencer. It managed to crack all the So this is the power of SQL Map, right? I got access to a database and it immediately went to work doing a lot of work that I didn't have to do. In this case, like most companies, I was able to get the hashes for these things. And now I have a credit card number. I have an email for a person that is probably legit. I have a username and a password. I have a password. The email is probably also the password, depending on the company you're logging into. And so let me see. So Julio's password is different. Okay, so it must have pulled down the entire database because Julio's password here does not match password here. So that's interesting because the hashes for Julio's password is right there. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they're not in order. No. So these are the various passwords here. So exquisite, Homer Hound, hibiscus, Donatus, Ford 1900. I'm surprised we didn't see like a summer 2022, something like that. All right. So what was the exact question we needed answered for this? Because I think we've dumped the data. We've dumped the database. It says what's the contents of the table flag 2? Okay. Contents. I don't understand. Was the DB security not secure or something in this scenario? You know what? I'm assuming the fact that we were able to pull this stuff down probably means no. Okay. So yeah, users in test DB. Command denied. Users in test DB. Not exactly sure what they're wanting in the terms of flag. I didn't ask it to do a dictionary attack on the passwords. 32 entries. Well, Matt, more often than not, organizations don't secure their databases, right? I mean, if databases were secure, we wouldn't have breaches, you know? I mean, there was another breach this week that was disclosed. I think Verizon lost a couple of 100,000 user account information and things. So it happens. Can't stop it. Well, you can stop it, but companies don't want to do what is necessary to stop it. Or, there's operational requirements or additional things that need to occur that take up a lot of time and effort that developers can't do. Or, they're a company that doesn't have security people to help out with that. So, all right, so we've dumped this users.csv file. Well, humans are the weakest link, but I think you're right in saying humans, because it's not just users, right? If us security people do our users a disservice by not treating them well, right? It's taken me 20 years to figure that out. Oh, okay. So at the bottom of it here, we have, there it is. So there's the flag that you need, which is at the very bottom of the output for SQL map. Too much oh man, I can't read all my leet speak here. Congrati, like too much congrats on post requests. Too much something, yeah. Um, all right, so that is the flag. So after you run all this stuff, fetching entries for table and database test DB. People are the weakest link, but only because I would say security people need to do a better job of highlighting uh, issues, being able to more clearly explain. I think the what we miss is the what's in it for them, right? If we say patch all your shit, what's in it for them to do so? And as I think hacks for pancakes had mentioned on Twitter just recently, it's like if we just assume that they know why we want them to patch, then we've lost, because they're just doing their job, right? And if we don't show them why they should do something, what's in it for them to do so, well, if you don't do it, there's numerous holidays coming up where if somebody was to gain access to our systems, could ruin your weekend. Or what's your worst day? Ask them questions about like that. I think that was something that she'd said. They'd said start out with, what is the worst day that you could think of ever having? Well, it'd be like, getting woke up at 3 a.m. because somebody made off with our database. All right. And you can work from there. And why would they access your database? Well, we have unencrypted data in there. We're storing credit card information or what have you. So some of that is um, I almost want to try starting up my fully charged. There it goes. Now it works, of course. Now I'm going to have to turn it down because it's noisy. There we go. All right. So what is the contents for the flag table 3? All right. So by the way, I do give credit for this. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Matt. Um, and the thing is that we have to work on our consequences versus FUD, right? There's and I think that's where a lot of the threat modeling comes in, right? We have to help them understand maybe an incident tabletop where we have, some realistic scenarios come in, or showing them, sending out emails, maybe newsletters or something, highlighting where a threat actor has attacked a competitor. And, if there's after action reports or additional information coming from those reports, how they did it, what they stole, uh, just having that information and saying, look, it didn't happen to us this time. We got really lucky. Is something we should definitely try to find. My company tries to be as data driven as they can be. And oh right, yeah, dashboard. Okay. So yeah, I'm just crediting people because my bot didn't work. So yeah, I've added it as an info panel on our Twitch channel, but you definitely go check out Chill Hop Music. They have a really nice stream. So a lot don't understand the importance until it's too late. Yeah. Yeah, and that goes not just for rank and file people that you might work with, your work colleagues, but also management. Um, especially if it costs money. If you are not, doing necessary bits here to help them understand why we need to spend money on X or Y or Z. All right, so let me there it is. We're gonna clear this. So if you're wondering why I have the background music on it, it keeps me calm instead of hulking out when something doesn't go right. I didn't need all this request.txt thing apparently. So yeah, but it keeps me calm and keeps me from like having sweating in weird places and stuff. So all right. Contents of table threes. So we go back to our browser. We go home. Go home. All right. I'm going to just pull that down. Wow. Okay. So we're going to go to case number 3. Okay, so we have a case 3. So this is a cookie value ID of detect and exploit a SQL vulnerability in cookie value ID 1. Okay. All right, so that happened. That's a thing. Okay, so this may be the request.txt thing, right? That we're going to come up against. So let me click on this here. I'm going to pull this up so we can look at the headers. Okay, so right down here you see the cookie ID equals 1. So I can copy request headers. All right. And I will open up request.txt again and then Control V. All right, so you see our cookie ID 1. Okay, so I'm fairly certain that this is the case, but it did say up here in the -R that if you see, support these formulas in a relaxed manner, data ID equals 1. Yeah, okay, so just like this here. So we'll add this to our switch. So while SQL map by default targets only HTTP parameters, it is possible to test the headers for SQL injection vulnerability. Easiest way is to specify the custom injection mark after the headers value. Cookie ID 1, same principle applies to any other part of the request. So I'm assuming you want, right, cookie dash cookie equals ID equals 1 star. Okay. All right, so we're going to save that. It could be, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to try it again with just the command line functions. Copy as curl. And we're going to go over here. We're going to hit Control V. Oh, Control Shift V. Ding. Why does it do that with the little 200 and the thing up there? God's bless. All right. So we scroll. Okay, so here's the cookie value. Ideally, what's going to happen is you log in, and if you log in with a specific ID, in this case, the cookie value, so it's going to read the cookie ID value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc., etc. And I'm assuming we're going to have to do a batch and a dump on that as well, because what's the contents of table flag 3? All right. So we're going to go \star. No, you know what? I'm going to leave that 1. I think I'm going to go back over here and do -- cookie equals, or no, cookie. Let want to double check that I'm getting this value right up here. Cookie method. Yeah, option dash dash cookie. All right, so you right option. Okay, it was like a gray bit. All right. Sucks. Okay. Oh, I highlighted it because I'm an idiot. There you go. Cookie equals, and then double quotes, ID equals star. It should be ID equals star. Right? Cookie ID equals. Oh, thanks, InfoSec House. I have not heard of you, but I appreciate your patronage and following of the channels. Very cool. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, it is cookie equals. See, this when you get old like me, you have to we go back and forth, which is one reason I was splitting the screen earlier. So I should have continued to do that. Move to new window. Should have just left that shit alone like I did before. So that's what gets me into trouble when I try to change shit up. So there we go. Oh my god, I've screwed everything up. Damn you! You blew it up. Okay, let me hit that. Okay. Put that. And then I'm going to put an equal sign. Right? Cookie equals cookie. Yeah. Okay. And then, all right. And then I'm going to go. Now you said Control E, Matt D. Can I do a Control B? Nope. Okay. Control B just sends it back really slowly. That's a little faster, actually, if I do Control B. Maybe it just sends you to the beginning of each line or something like that. All right, so we're gonna get rid of curl and the %200 junk. QL map. All right, so header Okay, so we've got all of our header information. We have the cookie value, which was here, ID equals 1. But then we add this dash dash cookie at the end. You said Control E. Oh, look at you. Look at you, Matt DA. Look at you. You went an internet today. Thank you very much. Batch and dump. Okay, so it's going to run again. Okay, so it's running. Okay. One of these days I'll actually, get off my duff and actually install everything inside of VM here, and it will be a little faster, or it'll, crash my machine. It appears to be working, which according to the instructions or the examples here for this should be absolutely correct. All right, so InfoSec House. That's kind of cool. All right. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. Learned a little bit about SQL injections and yeah, there we go. Nice. Seagull. All right. Oh, okay. So this is working too. We're cracking passwords again. Okay. Started 4 processes. Boy, it's going through them lines fast. It's probably using like a customized word list, or they put the passwords in, or well, okay, there it is. There it is. Cookie wait, wait. I don't. Okay, so here's the flag. says Cookie Monster is thinking of GRATS. Thinking of grats. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cookie Monster. Um all right. So let's try to not clobber my system here. All right, what's the content of table 3 flags? All right. All right, we got one cube. All right. So, one more and then oh well, we're actually a little early today. Wow. I've managed to not make a complete ass of myself. So, contents of table flag 4. All right. So, since that worked well enough, and it looks like all of the CSV files and the database test database users gets dumped to this local file. So for those of you who have not done any of the hack the box stuff, this VM instance, is ephemeral. So it'll go away in 90 minutes or so or whatever. The important thing for you to remember is if you're on a real pen test or something, to know where your artifacts for running tools end up, um, especially if, how do I say this? Especially if you're using a box to go through things. So, like, I was on a test one time. I managed to connect to the IT admin's laptop using admin share, and in doing so was also able to get a shell on his box because he had admin rights. That was very good, very nice. And I ran commands on his desktop because as the IT admin, he was so kind to have all of the necessary tools that I needed on the desktop, literally on his desktop. I think I left him a calling card like with a picture of something. It was nice, but um, I had to make sure that when I finished running those commands that I hadn't left database information or, you know, things that could potentially get him into trouble. I mean, by the time I'd gained root on the system, I had told my boss was letting the CISO of the company know that, hey, we're sitting on your IT admin's box right now in wherever this was. And, we're just keeping you up to date. But I had to make sure that when I was running my engagement as the TPM and also as a tester, that I didn't leave things on his desktop that could be of an illegal nature or of things that would potentially cause him issues in the future, or God forbid, left a shell or something running on their boxes. You never want to do that. Um, you know, I have seen and heard people saying, yeah, they still had the shells that I was running on my server. The reverse shells I was running, or the artifacts left over from when I was testing them the last time. That's really not good. I mean, you got to clean up that mess before you go. So anyway, here, if I was going to have this box for any length of time, you want to, know where these CSV flags or the CSV files are, where the outputs for SQL map exist. That way you can go in and clean them out. You may also, suggest an alternate directory, um, depending on your workflows. So, anyway, all right. Table 4, case 4, 4 of the case. All right, so we're going to go for case.php. I'm not going to go back all the way because I don't need to. All right, so case 4 is a JSON value. Ooh. All right, so we have ID1, Maynard Rice is a lineman. I think it's probably the same database for everything, right? Did I just... Okay, it sounds like it's running the same thing over and over again. There we go. Oh. Okay, well, we'll just let it go. All right, so we have a JSON value of ID. ID equals 1 inside the amount here. If that music's too loud, let me know, but it helps me think. Looks like it's running at about a negative 45 or 50 dB, so it may not be loud at all, if you can hear it at all. So, all right, we need to go look at the request headers. There's no request headers for this parameter. All right. Let me copy. Copy is no. Copy is curl. Okay. Um. Okay. We'll grab this, and I want to see what that looks like. Okay. So curl. Do not request. Okay. So there's no cookie in this. Interesting. Wanna see view page source. So there's a XML HTTP request, JSON stringify. Okay, so here's the JSON stringify ID equals 1 in the var data. All right, so we'll go back and see what we've learned about JSON files. I'm gonna pull this over here so I can read the full screen. And dorked up VM. Damn it. All right, so custom SQL requests. Code HTTP. Where's the JSON file at? Okay, so in the complex or long post body, we can once again use the -r command. Data articles. Cat request.text. Apart from the most common form data post style, body style, SQL map also supports JSON formatted or XML formatted HTTP requests. All right. So okay, so I have to figure out how to request. It says no parameters for this request. HTML, CSS, disable cache, response. Okay. Let's see, raw. Okay, so that's not that. How do you? Okay, so there's a post and a get. That's interesting. Okay, let me refresh my screen. Refresh the output here. There's a post and a get. Huh. The JSM file, that looks like it's a okay. Request cookies, stack trace, timings, inspector. Inspector on this. Okay. There we go. That's something. No, I don't want the ICO. What the hell am I wanting the ICO for? I don't think we need the response headers for this. I'm just wondering where you get this information in this format from. I don't want an HTML format. I want it in a JSON type format. Yeah, oh, there we go. Oh. So the request payload is nothing but ID equals 1. That must be it then, right? Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, all we need is ID equals 1. Let's minimize this. away. Okay. Clear. Okay, we're looking at case 4. So we need, let's scroll down here. All right, so we're going to put that in cat request.text. Okay. All right. All right, so we write this as it said, HTTP 1.0 host was the host would be this IP address. Host would be 157.245. Okay. Go to request.text. Space, Control-Shift-V. Or just paste. And then you want that's interesting. Do I want the whole request? You may need to put case4.php. May need to put case4.php. Case4.php. And then ID 1. Close. Okay, so wait. Bet we're gonna need to put some we're gonna put some quotes around that bad boy. All right. Colon, yes. Let's make sure we format shit correctly because I don't want it to try to be ugly at me. All right, so we're gonna call it request.text. And then I think we could probably do the same thing as we did before. Let me minimize this. Okay, so don't think we need this. Clear. All right, so SQL map -R. Oh, wait. CD desktop. SQL map. Request.text. All right, and data. We need the data bit, right? So -- data. Okay. There. All right, so we can, let's see, random header value. Data ID equals 1. Method put. SQL map also supports JSON files. Support for these formats is implemented in a relaxed manner. No strict constraints on how parameter values are stored. In this case, post body is relatively short and simple. And option data will suffice. Okay, so we can still put this data equals, and then ID equals star. Single quotes. Okay. Well, oh, and then let's do the, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's go look at the hints. When dealing with complex HTTP requests, it's best to use SQL map with the R option. Okay. All right. All right. That makes me wonder, can I just put star? You know what? I'll try it with the star and I'll try it without the star if this does not work. And then I'll try it with the data bit. I may have to put the request headers in there too because it's saying complex. This is not overly complex, which, yeah. Okay, something happened here. Invalid target URL port. Oh, whoa. Yeah, definitely invalid target URL port.